Rob and I were privileged enough to get to go to their fundraisers this year.
Believers into being the church and living on mission 24/7.
40% of people who were in full-time ministry are no longer in full-time ministry. So this is that moment where you've come home, you've realized, oh my goodness, I have a meeting. I wasn't stressed, I wasn't worried. I mean, I was a little stressed that I'd forgotten, but I know, this is not for the sake of the camera. This is an actual Resi salad. All right, Resi, come here. Come here. All right. Oh, gotta get on the other side of this. There's only so many ways to approach this. Yeah, no, you got it. I know, it's exciting. I know. Go ahead. Yeah? Did I throw you off with the raspberries? I know, but you like the fruit. You like the fruit. Come here. Okay. See, you like it. You just want to be hand-fed. Hey, and welcome back. One of the truly great privileges of being in full-time ministry is the people that you get to meet who are doing phenomenal things for other human beings, both lifting them up and giving them value, but also providing services that they might not otherwise have. Two of those groups, Rob and I were privileged enough to get to go to their fundraisers this year. And in the fall is usually when a lot of groups, nonprofits, are looking for that extra boost to get them through the end of the year. So I really wanted to highlight those today and share with you what we learned. The first group is called the 1010 Project, and you'll see what their logo looks like. I'll provide their information both here on the screen and down below. So the 1010 Project is an organization that works with pastors to help ensure the longevity of not only their ministries, but their lives and their families. The reason I say that so dramatically is not for hyperbole, but truly because there's new research that has come out post the pandemic that it's a staggering number of families affected not only by what we went through as a world with the pandemic, but what ministry looked like, what that felt like, how hard it was to navigate all of the ins and outs of that situation. And sadly, from my perspective, the number of pastors who left the ministry in the last 5 years is staggering. And it is over 40% of people who were in full-time ministry are no longer in full-time ministry. And part of that is the enormous amount of stress, time away from family, the challenges that always came with being in ministry but now are heightened. What this organization does is it gets these group of people together and asks some hard questions, not just on the surface level questions, because that's easy. That's also muscle memory for most pastors to be able to go, oh, we're fine, we're great. But when you're in a room with other people who are in full-time ministry, it's a lot harder to fake it. It's a lot harder to just do the polite thing and go, oh yeah, we're good, we're so good. Because the statistics are showing that many of these pastors, many of these families, many people in ministry are emotionally, mentally, spiritually are in trouble, because it is maybe a little harder for most people to know what it's like unless that's your life. And so this team of people know what it's like to be in full-time ministry and try to minister to them in a way that brings real things to the surface. I know for Rob, this is one of his holy discontents, which is just a phrase that I think was coined probably in the late 90s, but it means that it's the thing that your heart beats for outside of sharing the gospel and caring for people and loving on people. It's the thing that kind of is the niche where the Lord has you and keeps bringing you. And for Rob, it is what he has seen over the years of other pastors not having community with each other in order to have someone who understands exactly what they're going through. 1010 Project, amazing work that they're doing with pastors and their families, and I can't say enough good things. And so I will include links below if you would like to contribute to that. I will also give you links to their website so that you can see what it's all about. And the second ministry that just, this is the second year in a row that Rob and I were able to go to their fundraiser, and it was such an honor and a privilege. So the founders of this movement, this church, is Scott and Tami Free, and I want to read to you their mission statement, and it is to reach the lost, restore the broken, and release the church. But they have just done such an incredible job of reaching out to people who have been through difficulties. They particularly serve in urban areas, and that here in Atlanta, meaning in the city, where there are food deserts, where there are people who are struggling to keep their jobs, who are doing the very best they can. They work with single moms, they work with people who are coming out of addiction, people who are coming out of the prison system. They do back to school programs. They do a laundromat ministry. They have Socktober in October. Like, there are so many things that they are doing that, one, you could be a part of if you're local, two, that you can donate, you can contribute to this amazing ministry. And again, I will show you the links here. I will provide the links down below so that you can go peruse their website, watch their videos, and be blessed by the testimonies of the people whose lives have utterly changed because of these two people, but their entire staff, their entire group of volunteers who just have a heart for people who life is more difficult for. So for everything that might be hard, challenging, trying, difficult, they're far and few between, I have to say, when you're in full-time ministry. But the gift of being able to be a part of multiple ministries, to step outside our own doors and see what other people who are in full-time ministry are doing, it's just incredible. And what's amazing to me is that everyone has their own unique calling. There's none of us looking at each other and going, man, I wish that was me. I wish you were me and I was you. Because there's just too much to be done. There's too many people hurting, too many people who don't know what it feels like to be full of joy, of peace, of safety. Not even, I mean, there's emotional safety, but physical safety. So my heart is tender towards those things and those ministries. I sense that your heart will be too. Both the 1010 Project and Citytakers are just two ministries out of thousands just in our area. So if this holiday season your heart is yearning to be of service to other people, to give, you don't have to take my suggestions of these two. You can just Google in your area, how can I serve? How can I give? Who needs my help? Because I assure you, there is a group of people that will fit that tender place in your heart, maybe from your own upbringing or something that's happened to you or someone you love. But there are people who are in need this holiday season in a multitude of ways. Pray about it, see what the Lord would have you do, because there is something that each of us can do this holiday season to be a blessing to other people. And I pray that we can, I don't know, figure that out together. Oh, I have an idea. That just hit me. I'm still learning. List, like, if you know of certain ministries or food banks or things that places, organizations that you are passionate about, that you want other people to know about, please list them below, because I think that's something. And if you have the links, share those, because that's the kind of thing I would love for this YouTube channel, this community to be about together. Is we have, no matter what we're dealing with, there are spaces and places in our lives that we can find a space, a place, a way to minister to other people. So if you've got an idea, let us know. Anyway, love y'all. Talk to you soon. So when styling for fall and winter, there can be a tendency to just overwhelm yourself, both with the choices, but also with the clothing. I wanted to offer a different view of how to style clothes for fall and winter that might just be a little bit different than what you normally reach for. And it's okay if you are more of a sporty spice than a posh spice. Not that I'm a posh spice, but I do tend to grab sweaters and pants more than a sweatshirt and sweatpants in this time of year. So if you're like me and you really want to keep that feeling that spring and summer can have, where it's light and it's fresh and it's not so heavy and overwhelming, the great thing about fall is the layers. The great thing about winter is being able to spruce it up a little bit because it is so dark or dreary outside. One way to do that is to go with lighter tones. It is not a rule that in the winter, fall and winter, you have to go with blacks and dark browns, although chocolate brown right now is sensational. But I want to show you what that could look like. So I have on a cream sweater. It is not a huge sweater. It is a cropped, not cropped up here, but cropped to come to the waist. It is a little bit oversized, but not huge and overwhelming. I struggle with that because of my frame. I'm only 5'2", and I typically wear a extra small or small, depends on the thing. And I went with palazzo style pants, one because I'm working at home today and they are just incredibly comfortable. Some jeans, honestly, may or may not feel that way at home because they can be very structured, which is nice because it holds everything in, but there are just days where I want to feel like this. If you'll notice that from head to toe, I kept a cream theme. You don't have to keep it monochromatic, meaning one color from head to toe. Shoes have a little bit of dimension to them, and these are just tennis shoes, sneakers. I don't have to have on a dress shoe or even a dress boot to feel elevated. What I've done is add a necklace, and in my case, because it has a higher collar, I'm adding a necklace that creates a V. Even since my sweater is not a V-neck, the necklace creates that V. And if you can see, for me, I feel really good in this. This is a wonderful at-home outfit. What I want to show you is what it looks like when you add a jacket and you're ready to go out and run errands. So hold that thought. So the other wonderful thing about fall is the fact that we get to add layers, which not only adds color, but it also adds texture, which gives your outfit dimension. That, I think, has been one of those aha moments to go, oh, I get it. So we have texture in the sweater. If I can come a little closer so you can see, it's that fisherman look. Fisherman sweater, yeah, fisherman sweater look. Obviously, we've got the metal going on with the necklace. I went with gold accessories. The jacket is a faux suede, and so it's super soft, but the color adds a little dimension, so it's not monochromatic. And I still have on, I just have on my sneakers, my tennis shoes. But you see how well those go together. So I could easily go out like this, even go to a dinner, go to lunch, go to brunch. There's nothing about this that says I didn't care enough to look nice when I came out. So this works really well. Well, what if it's a little chillier? I want to add one more layer before I change shoes or anything else and give you a visual of what adding something else does to the outfit. So as you may or may not know, this fall winter suede is really big. It's on trend. It's always a thing for fall and winter, but it just happens to be more prevalent and more available in the stores. That's all that on trend really means. It means that at some point in runway shows over the last couple of years, this is what was seen most heavily. And so if you like having that, but you still want to keep the outfit, one, warm, but also add another layer of dimension, add a scarf. This is actually, honestly, a summer scarf, if there's such a thing, but it is in this almost, not white, but almost white, more of an ivory, where we've got cream and we've got the tans. And if you notice, all of these go together. There's nothing about this that makes you go, ah, that's too many colors going on at once, because they're all in the same color family. It's very tonal. And this, I think, adds just another layer of, dare I say, sophistication But it's also practical. So if we're out and about and suddenly, like it is today, it's super windy, and if I don't want to muss and fuss too much with anything, okay, it's going to hang out. Let's see if I can get it to look a little, there we go. I can leave my jacket open. This can be hanging down as it is, but it is very practical that I can now have even more coverage around my neck. But if you want this on hand, you've got it, and it just adds a whole other layer, literally and visually, to your outfit. Okay, so now let's change out the boots, or change out the shoes to boots and see how much difference that may make to the outfit. So this is that moment where you've come home, you've realized, oh my goodness, I have a meeting late, or we have a dinner, or we have a date night, and all I really want to do is change my shoes. I don't have time, or I don't have the desire because I like the outfit I have on. Well, I just put on some knee-high boots that are the cream color. It all, again, looks the same in terms of sophistication, put together, all of the above. I just changed my footwear. And this, to me, does elevate it up. It not only elevates it from a visual standpoint, but for me, who as a 5'2" galley, it gives me a little more height, which makes me feel really good inside. So I'm going to change out now a different jacket, because what we're doing is we're working with wanting to see texture and how all these layers can work together to give you a boost in fall and winter that doesn't have to be dark and dreary. So hold that thought. So we've seen what this cream tonal outfit, changing the shoes from tennis shoes to heels, which is a boot, which is really warm, can look like with adding a suede. Which we can see what it looks like with adding a suede jacket for texture and dimension. Well, this is a, dare I say, vegan leather jacket. It's pleather, it's however, faux leather, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. It is not genuine leather. It is not genuine leather, let's put it that way. But as you can see, it gives it a whole different look. It's a little bit edgier, but still, in my mind, for my style, still elevated, still elegant. I think a bit of a showstopper if I'm walking around. And these are the same boots. It's just a different jacket, but it does give the look a whole different look. So I just wanted to show you, if you stick with a similar color palette, how much difference that can make to an outfit just by changing things that you already probably have in your closet. Or if you don't have these kind of basic colors, say you're working with a different color scheme, it's the same idea. If this was all, say, light blue, then you could work with dark navy on the outside. Or I'll show you one other option, a couple more options, to give you more ideas of what this looks like. So here we are. I did bring in a little bit of a darker tone, just enough to hit that trend of the chocolate. Hello. I did bring in a darker tone. This time we're working with the lovely, super on-trend dark chocolate. This is, again, a faux suede. This was a jacket I got for $30 at TJ Maxx. I think it's House of Harlow. Yeah, I love when House of Harlow has stuff that I can find, and because it always is the right kind of fit for me. Love their stuff. So this just gives you another idea that up top it's dark, but everywhere else we're keeping that same tonal cream color. I've pulled out the sleeves of my sweater just again to break that up. Always love a good zhuzh of the sleeve because of what it does. It brings out one of the smallest parts of I keep falling over. I really have not been drinking today. It brings out the smaller parts of a woman's body, which happen to be our wrist. Isn't that lovely? They're very feminine. It just adds to the femininity. Regardless of your style, I think this is always kind of a bonus if you can pull out or zhuzh up your sleeves. Trust me, it sounds like a really small, silly thing, but it can make a huge difference. So this is the look. Now, I'm going to change the boots. And here's the thing. I have chocolate suede boots, so I could try that. But I also, if I want to bring in yet another texture that stays within this color palette, I've got a pair of boots that are a little more faux leather, pleather. They're shiny, patent, faux croc look on them. So let's see how that works. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see it from here, but I'll come up in a minute. But I decided to do 1 foot with the suede and 1 foot with the glossy, shiny faux leather. And that's just to prove a point of you could go either way. I don't think either one is wrong, but it does give you options. And again, the only thing we have changed this whole time is our accessories as far as the outerwear and the shoes. That's it. And so I would love this. Like, I think this is a great look. I might be persuaded to keep with the lighter shoe instead of bringing in the dark, but this does create what they call that sandwich situation where you connect what's on top to what's on bottom. Again, not a thing wrong with it. The only difference is, for me, again, as someone who's petite, if the attention is down at my feet, that isn't really helpful for me. So I'm most likely going to go for the ivory, or, wait for it. So here I am. I'm playing around with tones and textures. The chocolate just gives it a little bit of oomph. This one is a shiny faux croc, faux leather jacket. Again, TJ Maxx and Marshalls. It's where I get almost everything I own. And then I went back and thought, well, you know, I do have the ivory shoes. I have the tennis shoes. I have the ivory boots, but I also have a natural colored, being a color that will go with almost any other color that's on top of it. So this is another option. Again, the whole idea is that we're keeping the same base, and if you have the right base as your base layer, you can mix and match in the same color scheme. You can mix and match with coordinating color schemes. I could have chosen a navy. I could have chosen black. I could have chosen green. That's what's the beauty of ivory and white as a base, is literally everything goes with it, which is not true of every color, including black. So I'm going to try one other thing to include yet another trend that we've covered. The suede trend, we've covered faux leather trend. So I'm going to show you one more and see how I would style that. So scarves, capes, drapes, those are huge for fall and winter 2025. And they are so easy. It's literally like draping it around your shoulder. I could turn this into a scarf and do a really big thing in the front. Sometimes that can be a little overwhelming, again, for my frame. I could tie it, like here if I wanted to. For the purposes of this video, I just wanted to drape it over my shoulder just to show you once again, we have the same exact base, same pants, same sweater, same jewelry, shoes. Now I'm tying in because, as they say, you definitely want, if you have one color and it's all by itself, you want to have something that pulls that color in. So like when I had the chocolate jacket faux croc, faux leather, I could have pulled that color into my handbag, and then that would have given you the second one. Or pulled in the shoes with that color handbag, or that texture, or that color. So this is a sweet scarf cape that my youngest daughter gave me last year, and I absolutely love it. I travel with it. It's perfect for being on the plane, especially if you roll it up. You can use it as a pillow if you needed it, or just, when you don't know how much you're going to need in terms of covering up. It's really, really perfect, and it's a map of Paris. Absolutely love it. So anyway, just wanted to include, there are multiple ways. If you're not a jacket girl, if you're not a blazer girl, again, I have a bomber jacket that is that camel colored faux suede. We could put on with this. You could add a trench coat. You could add a crop trench coat in this same camel-y kind of tones. Honestly, the whole point of this is look through your closet, find items that you just don't know what to do with that you really love. This could be one of those. If someone gave you a really pretty scarf, but you're like, or a cape, scarf, it's not a cape, scarf, and you don't know how to style it, if you match it up with a very neutral base, top and bottom, I promise you, and maybe look for some colors to pull out of it, I promise you it will give that piece and your wardrobe a whole new life. If you look for texture versus just going with the same texture up and down, it's gonna add new life to your outfit. I have a lot more things like that to add, but I don't want to take up all your time. So if you have any questions, if you have any ideas, if you have seen something you really love, just comment below and we can share that with each other. And I will be on the lookout for more things like this. We can try a different base again at a different time and show you how easy it is to mix and match with things that are out of your own wardrobe. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye. So in a case of art imitating life, as they say, I was filming all of this today and went and got my nails done, weeks and weeks behind, and realized on the way there that Rob and I had a fundraiser to go to tonight. So I came home quick as I could and changed out my shoes from the tennis shoes, added the jacket, so this is the jacket I wore, and added in a handbag that I felt like goes with it. So, and I'm ready. Like, this is why it's so nice, is that I didn't have to freak out. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't worried. I mean, I was a little stressed that I'd forgotten, but that's part of where I am in life, that I forget a lot of things. So this is me ready to go on our planned outing at night that I completely forgot about, but I'm ready. Okay, hope this helps. Love y'all. Bye. All right, we are headed to the fundraiser.
Yay!
Yeah, we coordinate.
Yeah.
We don't need a dance. You can eat it straight out of the bowl.